Rosenberger. I'm the Des Moines Register's political editor. Welcome to the 2018 Soapbox. Up next, we have Abby Finkenauer, who's running for Congress. She's a Democrat. She's running against Republican Rod Blum. Feel free to cheer. Feel free to be enthusiastic. No heckling. We will stop you because apparently Iowa nice is a thing.
What a gorgeous day at the state fair, and great to see so many good friends from labor here. I'll just hop right to it. I'm Abby Finkenauer, and I'm running for Congress because this is personal. I grew up a daughter of a union pipe fitter welder, and my mom just retired from the Dubuque Community School District in February. Actually, when she decided to retire, I looked at her and I said, Mom, you're retiring because you just want to spend time with my nephew, Jordy, who's adorable, by the way. And she said, well, Abby, yes, Jordy's really cute, but I'm retiring because I just turned 62, and I'm afraid if I don't retire right now and take my Social Security, that those Republicans in the U.S. House are going to change the age that I can retire and get my Social Security. And I looked at her and I said, Mom, there are folks all across the state and all across this country in the exact same boat, and that's why I'm running for Congress. And the rest of my family, there was actually 4 of us. We were all first-generation college grads, still paying off student loans. And I still remember being a 10-year-old, having to have my dad's business agent's name memorized, because when that showed up on caller ID, that meant Dad had a job. And I remember sometimes those months when that name wasn't showing up very often and what that meant for my family. So again, I mean, not always easy, but at the end of the day, I grew up in a state and in a country where if you worked hard, you could make it. That's what we were promised. That's what we were told. And unfortunately right now, I mean, gosh, that is just getting tougher and tougher for folks because of the policies being pushed right now by that Freedom Caucus member I'm running to replace Rod Blum. You see, he has spent the last 4 years since he got elected, which, by the way, we both got elected the same night in 2014, but I assure you that's where our similarities end. You know, he's spent the last 4 years in D.C. making it harder for my friends, my family, my neighbors, and the folks all across this fair. And in contrast, I've been here in the state of Iowa fighting hard against attack after attack on our working friends, on folks that on our wages, on our environment. I mean, you name it. They've gone after it in the state of Iowa. And I tell you what, I haven't just been a vote against those attacks. I've been a voice every single time. And I think it's time we send this voice to Washington, D.C. and make sure they remember all the folks, again, across this fair and across this state that they have forgotten.
Yes.
And I'll tell you, when I first decided to do this, there was a lot of folks who thought, no way, this girl paying off her student loans who comes from a working class family can take on this guy for Congress. But I knew they were wrong. And I knew they were wrong within the first couple of months getting out there talking to folks. And I realized it didn't matter if I was talking to folks in rural Iowa or in some of our cities. At the end of the day, 2018 was going to be about our values. And who are we? Are we people who step up for our neighbors, or are we not? And the Iowa that I grew up in, we step up for each other every single time. It's exactly what has given me so much hope here the last, year and a half. And see, that's the other thing. I think it's about time we start talking about hope again. Because I also realize we are not a state or a country that grows from fear and division.
Right. True.
We grow from hope. It's hope and the idea that you get up in the morning, you go to work, you work hard, and you're not just able to make a living, but you're able to have a life. It's hope and the idea that your kids can get a good public education and do better than you did. And it's hope and the idea that, God forbid you get sick, you don't have to file for bankruptcy. And it's hope and the idea, if you're like my sister and brother-in-law who are corn and soybean farmers, and they're the ones with that cute little guy I talked about earlier, he's about 1.5 years now, that you can work hard, pass your farm onto the next generation, and not be waking up worried every morning because of a trade war that this administration decided to start on Twitter. Hope is quite literally what's on the line here in 2018. It's what's on the ballot. It's why we do this every single day. It's why we can't give up. Because at the end of the day, Iowa's my home. And this is our country. And together, when we work hard, we can take it back and again remind all those in DC of the folks here that they have forgotten. Thank you, everybody.